Alright, good morning. It's time to take a look at the kit. Please be something good. Splash shield. Jetpack. They did it, guys. They did it. They put another jet weapon in the game. We have a good short-range jetpack weapon. And you might be wondering, Chara, can you really say this is gonna be a good main weapon yet? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let's take a look at this video. So, the discourse on Twitter is not, is this weapon good? The discourse has been, is this weapon broken? And I mean, if you look at the video for a little bit, you'll probably see why. There is a lot to talk about with this damn sword. And I just gotta say, you know, while we look at the video real quick before I break down this weapon in a bit more detail, Splatanas are so fucking cool, man. I love this weapon class. This might be the best weapon class they've ever put in the game. Everyone, like, this is just so fucking cool. Like, come on. So, I'm very excited for this weapon. I'll probably be playing it a bit. Like, you know. I don't know if I'd pick it up, but, I mean, I want to play this. I think everyone wants to play it. I think the lobbies are going to be infested with this weapon, and I cannot wait for it. So, let me try to paint a better picture of what this weapon is. So, first off, let's talk about the flaws of this weapon, because not enough people are talking about it. So, and I'll try to use good examples from the video, but, you know, I'm trying to go for it, okay. First off, this weapon looks like it's ink hungry. Look at how much ink it's using while it's fighting this umbrella. Before it goes into ink here. That's like half its tank is gone. And it's kind of hard to see because of Twitter quality, but like that is a lot of its ink tank. That's now below the sub-weapon line, which is 70% on this one. So it looks like it's going to be pretty ink hungry on both its slashes. Stamper is pretty ink hungry, but only on the charge slash. The horizontal slash for Stamper is not ink hungry. This looks like both are going to be ink hungry, so it's going to have a lot of downtime. Secondly is the weapon's range. Now the weapon's range is not bad, but one interesting thing about this is it looks like either the charge slash and normal slash have the same range, and it's just a damage difference. And both of their ranges aren't that good. It looks like a little bit less than 96, so maybe somewhere around, like, between Splattershot Pro and 96 is what I can tell. So you don't have the range value of the other Splatanas. Like, even Wiper has insane range on charge slash. So this is much more of an up-close Splatana than even Wiper is. And I think the only difference between the charge slash and the normal slash, in terms of the attacks, is just the damage. I think the charge slash one is just double damage and the one shot up close. But outside of that, they're basically the same. You know, the horizontal swings seem very similar to Stamper. Bit of a wider hitbox, but less range. But they're still, like, pretty slow, which is not that big a deal. You definitely, like, combo the charge slash with it together, so you can, like, approach with that lunge, do a big hit, and then just have a second hit the combo. It looks like it's a safe 3-shot, though, so it's safe to say this is, like, somewhere between 35 to 40 damage. The charge slash is probably somewhere between 70 to 80. I would guess 40-80 if they wanted to be different than Stamper. But it's got to be something related to that. It's also going to have pretty good paint. It's going to have good paint. I think it looks very strong. And of course, you know, the other downside, the thing I talked about in the analysis, there is no charge slash on the weapon. Or not no charge slash. There's no vertical slash. So you can't ledge peek with this weapon like you can with the Splatana, which is a pretty notable downside. You know, some maps it doesn't matter as much, but if you're playing on, like, Museum, where Stampers like to camp the right ledge, you're gonna notice it. And this weapon has two kits. First off, we have Suction and Bubble, which is honestly most similar to the Junior kit. Which, thank God, because, yeah, I don't like this thing. Anyway. I think Suction on it is fine. It is a lethal bomb. You can throw it, it will do damage. That will probably make your weapon one less shot to kill. I think by this point, you know, almost 2 years into Splatoon 3, you guys know Suction Bomb's never really gonna be the end of the world on a weapon. It's pretty good. Let's talk about Bubble, though. So currently, the only really good Bubble weapon to me is Roller. Like, this is the only weapon that makes Bubble feel like a really good special. And part of that is because it has a big hitbox to where when it's sitting in the bubble, it can kind of just, like, flick, and it's really hard to get into it. Now, the new Stamper can do that because its horizontal hitbox is basically just as large as this thing. You know, you just, again, no ledge peeking, though. You can't do this that the Roller can do. But you still have, like, that giant up-close hitbox. It's not as good as Roller just sitting there spamming it in a bubble, but it's close. And the trade-off you get is that giant dash you do. You get to, like, boom, go in and set up a bubble. So you can, like, charge forward. Like, especially if you're peeking, like, behind a corner, like, I can dash out, go, like, all the way over here, and immediately pop my bubble and stabilize. You can also probably bubble cancel your flicks, too, to get it a little bit faster. For those who don't know what bubble canceling is, I'll show it in a second, but it's going to take forever to get it, so give me a little bit. But I think the bubble kit will actually see use. Even though the other kit is as good as it is, I think people will actually pick the bubble kit. Because again, like with Roller, I think it is so synergistic with bubble that it kind of works for it. So here we go. Bubble canceling is just a really simple tech where you cancel the end lag of something and shoot faster with your bubble. I don't know if I did it perfectly. I don't play this weapon. But you could do that with the new sword to, like, horizontal and immediately get another horizontal without the end lag. So that'll also be cool. So this weapon has a lot of synergy with bubble. It's got a good kit. It's a solid main weapon. I think we'll definitely see the vanilla kit. I think that's like a solid high tier kit. And depending on the map mode, is definitely going to be the one you pick. But I don't think it's going to be the main one. The main one is going to be the kit with Splash Wall Inkjet. 110%. Now, right now, there is no good short-range Inkjet option. You know, Brella's probably closest. It's got all the pieces there. They just refused to give the weapon damage. They gave it to a different weapon. Nova's probably a long shot, and it's not really going to be a fighting weapon, even if it's good. You know, this is more support. And then this is complicated. I'm not going to get into it, but the other kit's pretty much always going to be the one you see for this. So currently we have Rapid Deco, which is like, you know, you have to play it with like a backline, because it's not enough range to not be a backline, but it just doesn't get enough special. If this thing ever gets like 200 or 190, that'll be pretty noteworthy. I'm hoping something like that happens. And then Ballpoint is patiently waiting for Pencil to get toned back a little bit so it can start getting picked a bit more, which, you know, could happen soon. So we'll see. So I think Jet right now, though, I think Jet has to be used very, very aggressively. I think it can be used as an entry still. Like, you can pop it and, like, do the thing where you shoot Jet safely as your team walks forward at the same guys you're shooting. But I think what Jet does a lot is, like, going under a ledge with Cooler and popping Jet and trying to go for quick kills. And that way, if you mess up the Jet, you die quickly and you get the jetpack back immediately. And the new Splatana is going to be perfect for that. And then when you recall, by the way, you're going to be able to... Whoom, you're going to dash away from your recall, too. Like, if you think Stamper can protect its landing well, I got news for you. This Splatana gonna go all the way around a corner from its landing. It's gonna be cool. So, I think the Splatana naturally fits that. It's gonna be aggressive enough, and unlike the other jetpack weapons, you know, besides Nova, this thing will actually get its jetpack. It is actually going to get a lot of inkjet because it can paint. So you are gonna reliably get a jetpack. The sub-weapon is Wall. You know, I think Wall is the same idea as Bubble. You charge slash forward, and then you throw your wall. And, like, that's how you can approach, I guess. And, like, Wall in general seems like it's okay on it. Why do we have 11 wall weapons? I don't know. But, like, Wall's fine on it. I think there's not really any major issue. It paints well enough and far enough to get special regardless. And it's gonna be able to set up the wall because of the dash slash. The dash slash is just really the thing that makes a lot of the more iffy options on its kits work, really. It's a cool idea. And yeah, I don't have as much to say. Is it going to be broken? I think people are jumping to conclusions. A lot of mid-range weapons are going to be able to outrange this thing, and they're going to be able to outkill it pretty easily. Yes, it's got a really good hitbox, but it's like the same thing as Roller. Roller's really good hitbox comes with some trade-offs that it's hard to actually get in and stuff. And like this weapon will have a much easier time, but this weapon has to do that, but in the mid-range value, which means it has to get in further. There's going to be stuff like Range Blaster shooting it, like Stamper outranging it, like 96er Squeezer throwing a wall at it. I don't think it's going to be super free. And short-range weapons still have a kill time difference, but I do think it's going to be very good against short-range shooters, which we kind of need more of those because the current short-range shooter counters are like, not great. You know, they don't really work. So, you know, I'm very interested in it. I think it's going to be very fun. I think it looks cool. And I'm excited for comps. I don't even think you have to worry about competing with Stamper. I think you could just run both. Like, I think you could just pick Mint and Stamper. Like, the only major downside is it's double recall, and I don't even think that's that big a deal. I think people just have never really played enough with double recall because it's never been that good. I think you can very easily work around it with time. So, I am very excited for this season. The kits are looking so good, and this is just one that we've needed for a while. We have been begging for a short range jetpack option, and we finally have it. So I'm very, very happy with this. I'm really happy with the kit direction of this season. I don't know what happened, but they started to put some kits in the game. And I'm really, really excited because I think this is exactly what competitive Splatoon 3 is needed, is more strong kit options that aren't bazooka. And we're getting a lot of them with really key skill expression specials like Kraken, like Crab, like Jetpack, even Chump to some degree, if you can do as much as I think you can with them. So I'm very excited. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll break down some more of the normal weapons and the remaining kits we're figuring out later this week. But this is looking like a pretty damn good season. See y'all then.